battled feelings of like failure, like wow, because I'm a very goal-oriented person. So once I set my mind to do something, it's like tunnel vision. Really happy I gave myself permission to live my wildest, craziest dreams, no matter how wild or crazy it might look to other people. I would have lived the rest of my life wondering what if, and I don't have to. I think I had a really tough time like letting go of that image, and it really affected me, and it's also part of the reason why I'm choosing to dip.
I may be young, but I'm ready to give you all my love.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle Amoré, and if you're new here, hi, hello. Today's video is really like a little talk through. It's currently 3 a.m. I'm in Madrid, and I actually just got finished packing, and I have a flight leaving for Houston in like the next few hours. I think my flight leaves at 10 a.m. so I'll be at the airport at like 6, 7, so really soon. This might come as a surprise or shock to some people out there. I initially intended on being out here at the latest or the earliest really till April. This is like a 9-month teaching contract, but I am choosing to go home early and check up the deuces and dip for quite a few reasons, and I'll be going into those reasons in this video. So I will say that, first of all, I think I greatly underestimated this pandemic, and I know that sounds so stupid, but I'm honestly and truly like a very optimistic, see the glass halfway full type of person. So I was thinking, oh, you know, things are gonna resolve themselves like really soon, like the situation's going to improve really quickly, you know, it'll be fine. And even if it doesn't, hey, like even if I gotta travel with the mask on, cool, no problem, that's fine. But just coming here and just seeing the reality of travel during a pandemic, and I know, like, really, duh, right? Like, I should have known this beforehand, and I think I did. I was just being very optimistic. I realized that a lot of the traveling that I wanted to do, I wouldn't be able to do in the foreseeable future. And don't get me wrong, Spain itself is a gorgeous, beautiful country. There's plenty to explore here. But part of my reason for even doing this program, and actually like the biggest motivator, was to be able to travel and to travel Europe extensively. Like, I had a goal of hitting like 30 countries. Well, I've already been to like what, 16 or 17 countries. I had my goal of hitting 30 countries throughout this time in my experience here. Obviously that will not be happening, but you know, everything happens for a reason. And I guess because I'm starting law school in August, I just really wanted like some time to just travel and just do me, explore, and just like, you know, do that whole cliche thing of like finding yourself, I guess. And what better place to do it than Europe, like everyone else. So that was my goal and that was my intention, and it even influenced where I chose to live in Spain. I chose Madrid honestly and truly just because it's by a major international, or it has a major international airport. That's it. I didn't really look or research much into the city itself or into the vibe or even the weather, to be very honest. I came to this city with one like long sleeve shirt, and apparently sometimes it even snows in the winter. So I definitely came ill-equipped. In my head, I was thinking Spain was all sunny and warm and like all year round. I didn't even bother looking up the weather, which is like the dumbest thing I could have ever done. So I was just really confused when I got here, and it was cold, and I'm looking at the weather app and it's like in the 80s in Houston. I'm like, what did I get myself into? And you know, like personally, everyone's different, but I personally do not operate well in like really gloomy or cold or rainy weather, and that's the kind of weather I've been experiencing in Madrid lately that really turned me off. And I know it only gets worse as we go deeper and deeper into winter, and so it just really made me reconsider like my decision to even come out here, and really made it difficult for me to just carry on with life here. Like, it'd be really difficult for me to get out of bed. I didn't even explore a lot of like the major landmarks in Madrid and the things to do out here. Like I was very much so like confined to my little shoebox of an apartment. So it was really bad. It got really, really bad. I think my advice to anybody who plans on doing the auxiliary program or even moving abroad anywhere, make sure, like, one, know yourself, know the kind of environment you thrive in, and then make sure that the place that you're moving to aligns and will provide the conditions necessary for you to be able to just be yourself and thrive. I think that was something that I definitely overlooked, and it turned around to bite me in the butt. Secondly, with like my school placement, so I didn't want to live out in like the village or the pueblos or whatever. Like that was just not me. I'm definitely very much so like into going out, meeting different people, and just having a lot of fun. So Pueblo life was not gonna cut it for me. So my school is actually an hour and a 30-minute commute away from my apartment, and I think initially I underestimated how bad that would be. I think like in my head I was just like, okay, well whatever, that's fine, you know, we'll get through it. But like literally I work like 4 hours in the workday for my schedule, and so it's like a 3-hour commute every day for a 4-hour workday, which honestly and truly just sounded ridiculous when I got here. Even thinking about the weather and, you know, also daylight savings, like the sun doesn't come out till much later. So I'll wake up and it's like, wait, it's 6, 7 and the sun's still not here. And then having to deal with, you know, the rain, the temperature, the weather, it was just a lot going on, and just really added to me feeling very unmotivated and just not wanting to really do anything. Like I felt like I was fighting against myself a lot of the time. And you know, that was just something I never really expected. I think I came here with a very idealistic vision of what this experience would entail, and because I wasn't real with myself and I wasn't just very, you know, look one, you're in the middle of a pandemic. 2, look at the conditions you're choosing. You chose to live in the center of Madrid as opposed to somewhere closer to your school. So you're adding all these factors that are that are complicating your experience here, and you know, things aren't going to go according to plan, and you have to let go of that idealistic vision of what you think your experience would be here. And so I think I had a really tough time like letting go of that image, and it really affected me, and it's also part of the reason why I'm choosing to dip. And now lastly, and I honestly think this is probably the most important decision for me, and you know, to each his own, everyone can have their own opinion, but this is just my truth. My relationship was also a really big motivator for me to go ahead and leave. So me and my man, long distance, long distance is for the birds, okay? Like this was so difficult, but yet so effortless, just because of, you know, how great of a partner I have, and how great our communication was even despite the distance. But it was still very like mentally taxing and physically taxing to just not be there with your person, you know, not be able to come home and see them or go out on dates, or you know, like even with like FaceTiming and everything, like we talked every single day, actually multiple times a day. But it took a lot of effort on both of our parts, because there was a 7-hour time difference between Houston and Madrid, and my man also works full time. So trying to coordinate schedules and figure out times to work that worked best for both of us was difficult. You know, I was waking up like 5:30 in the morning so that I'd be able to talk to him before he goes to bed. He talked to me on his lunch breaks. Like we'd really try our best to fit in times to be able to talk to each other, and it was just really hard because, you know, sometimes you just kind of want to sit there and just talk and talk and talk, and you can't do that, and I can't do that because I know he needs to go to bed early so that he can be able to be up for work in the morning and, you know, move on with his day and stuff. So it was really hard to handle that. But you know, I loved how even with distance on the upside, I think it really definitely helped us get closer, and it made me realize how much I really am not trying to do this life thing without him. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but honestly and truly, like And if you know me, like, I've never really been the type of girl to be like, oh, let me drop my life for a man. Not that I'm necessarily doing that, but I've never really been one to like give and compromise like that. Well, not necessarily, but you know, I just never really liked a man like that, you know? And I feel like with the kind of relationship we have and how much I value it, I really feel like it deserves my time and it deserves my best effort. And so taking this time to go back to Houston and be able to be with my man before I start law school, which is like a 3-year commitment of not having a life practically, I think it's a decision that I am truly at peace with, and it's something that I would do 10 times over because he's worth it and our relationship deserves it. So that's probably the biggest reason why I'm choosing to go. I think I also owe it to myself to make sure that I'm investing the time that I want to invest in this relationship and really put in the work and the effort that it deserves. So yeah, I think I really underestimated long distance. I underestimated the weather out here. I underestimated the commute to school. I underestimated a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I don't regret my decision to come out here. I think for me, it's like I really did that in the middle of a pandemic, and there's such an immense sense of pride that I have with it. If only you guys knew half the battle I went through to even get here, irrespective of like the legal process and taking care of the visa and the program, like literally just being able to get here, the kind of forces I've had to fight. It's been crazy, but I did it, and it's such an amazing feeling. And you know, for at a time I battled feelings of like failure, like wow, because I'm a very goal-oriented person. So once I set my mind to do something, it's like tunnel vision, and I feel like sometimes I get too hard on myself when it doesn't actually come out the way I want things to come out. But you know, that's the beauty of life. Like, it has its twists, it has its turns, and I'm just going on with this ride and seeing where it takes me. And I'm in my early 20s. This is the time to make crazy moves and make crazy decisions, and if it ends up being a mistake, cool. If it ends up working out, great. But at least I'm following my heart and I'm following my passions, and I do not regret following my heart and coming out here and giving this experience a chance, because I would have lived the rest of my life wondering what if, and I don't have to. So I'm so happy I did it, especially because I know I'm going to law school in the next coming months, and I will be dedicating a large portion of my life to that. Like, I can't, you know, stop the middle of law school and be like, I'm moving to Spain. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So I'm really happy I gave myself permission to live my wildest, craziest dreams, no matter how wild or crazy it might look to other people. And, you know, I really do hope that although I wasn't able to see this journey through, that even just the process of even coming out here, having the courage to even pursue this, I hope it inspires somebody out there to do whatever is deemed crazy or stupid or ridiculous to some people. Like, at the end of the day, it is your life, and you're the person who's going to have to live with possible feelings of regret about not pursuing something, or just disappointment that you allowed other people's opinions and perspectives on your life to have such a stronghold on you and not allow you to just do you. And I can say that at the end of the day, I don't have those regrets and I don't have those feelings, and I'm so grateful I went ahead and just did it. With all of that said, I'm really excited about my move back to Houston. It's going to have its own differences and changes, and I'm really open to that experience too, and open to what these next coming months will have for me as I'm sitting and waiting for law school acceptances by God's grace, and you know, seeing where the rest of my life is going to take me for these next 3 years. So I'm really happy and just really blessed with like where I'm at, and I'm so glad I get to come home and be there for the holidays and spend time with people I really love and cherish. And I really am so grateful for Madrid and for the people I met here. Special shout out to my travel partner, Kiana. Definitely, you guys go ahead and subscribe. I'll leave a link to her channel down below. But I'm so grateful I met her. Like, honestly and truly, my experience in Madrid would have been so different if I had not felt like I've made a true connection with somebody and had formed a strong friendship with somebody. Like, that friendship and that relationship has definitely improved my experience in Madrid like crazy. And so I cannot wait to be back here and see her soon. But with that said, I'm just thankful for everything, and I hope this video maybe inspired you to just go ahead and do the crazy or whatever the case may be. But this is my truth, this is my journey, and I felt the need to tell you guys. And I know if there's been a couple of people who've reached out to me because they're doing the program in January or whatever. This is just my experience. Please don't let my experience dictate your decision to come here. This is just what I experienced and how things unfolded for me. I pray that you have a much better and pleasant experience. Spain is a wonderful country. Teaching out here is a wonderful experience. It's an invaluable experience. It's just not something that I want right now anymore. So with that said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
You a bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag, saucy drippin' swag, do. You a bad girl and your friends bad too.